Hello, and welcome to your weekly dose of strength. One of my favorite passages in all of the New Testament is from the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 28, and I suspect that it is yours as well. It is so well known, and it has been time tested. Here's what it says. The Apostle Paul writes, and he says, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose." Working together for our good. Well, that's tough whenever you are struggling with so many questions in life. This is written by the Apostle Paul, and there isn't anyone in all of the New Testament scriptures, as well as any New Testament character, who suffered more, who was persecuted more, who was harmed and hurt more than the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul was stripped. The Apostle Paul was beaten. Paul was stoned at Lystra. Paul was whipped with 39 lashes 3 times in his life. Paul carried a thorn in his flesh that he begged God to remove from him, that God did not remove. Paul had repetitive pains, repetitive persecutions, repetitive imprisonments. And for someone like Paul, at a season of his life when he is in and out of prison, to take a moment and pen those words, it means so much and says so much about his faith. That Paul said, in spite of all of my imprisonments, in spite of all of my pains and disappointments, in spite of all of my hurts, I know that all things work together for my good. I want to encourage you to say that over your life, that even though you don't understand it, it's working together for your good. All things, THINGS, things. T for trials and troubles. H for heartaches and hurts. I for injustices and personal insecurities. N for necessities and needs. G for griefs. And S for sorrows and sadnesses. Those are the things that happen to us in life. The things we cannot control. The pains we have no control over. The heartaches that we can't bring nor take away. But God says through the Apostle Paul that they are working together for our good. That this life is this beautiful soup that God is making, this stew that God is making. And he's taking the bad and he's taking the good. He's taking the victories. He's taking the successes along with the sorrows and the disappointments and the failures. And he is meshing them into our life, and he is making something beautiful out of it. Your journey necessitates that you have highs and lows. Your journey necessitates that you have times of tears and times of laughter. And all of it is meant to make you who you are. All of it is meant to make and produce something wonderful out of your life. God, in his sovereignty, he takes all of the good and all the bad, and he converges them together, and he works them together. He mixes them. He meshes them. He navigates them in and out of our lives in such a way that it ends up being for our good, for our benefit. That God takes the burdens and he turns them into blessings. And that's what he wants to do in your life. All things, the troubles, the hurts, the injustices, the necessities, the griefs, and the sorrows, the things of life are working for your good. So sit back, trust God, lean on him, even in the rough times, and let him work those things that you don't understand. Let him work them together for your good. God bless. This has been your weekly dose of strength. Be encouraged.